Hey guys, it's Melanie. In today's video, I'm gonna give you some thoughts on some Sigma makeup and brushes that were sent to me. There is a story that goes with this, and I'm gonna try to be as brief as possible in telling you guys about the background of this whole situation and why I was super hesitant to actually even respond to Sigma's email at first. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys the backstory right now. I am gonna really shorten this, so there might be some details that are not included, but they're not super relevant because you guys are gonna get the gist of what happened and why it was difficult for me to want to review these in any kind of way. If you have been with my channel for a very long time, you might already know this story. Back in I think it was 2010, 2011, I was still doing makeup professionally. I have had my own little business ever since I graduated from high school. I started out just working at the makeup counters at the Bon Marché, and from that got a lot of side clients for weddings and special events and stuff like that. So for the longest time I was doing makeup just kind of as a side project while I was going to college, and then even after I graduated from college I was just kind of doing it here and there for friends. It wasn't a career thing for me, but what I was using were a lot of the makeup brushes that I had purchased way back when I was working at the makeup counters. Most of those were MAC, and truthfully I didn't take very good care of my makeup brushes early on, so they were in rough shape. And by the time that 2010 rolled around, because it was in 1997 that I bought all these brushes, so they were getting kind of old, and also because I hadn't taken the best care of them, they were pretty ragged looking. And at that time in 2010, 2011, I was doing a lot of bridal work. I was also doing a lot of boudoir photography, makeup. That was kind of the niche that I shoved myself into in the market here, and I just needed new brushes. And I needed to buy a lot of brushes because when I was doing the bridal clients, I didn't like having to clean brushes between clients, so I wanted multiple blending brushes, multiple shadow application brushes. I wanted multiple blush brushes. I was looking for a lot, but I wanted decent quality. And at the time I was like, well, Sigma was just starting to come out. Everyone on YouTube was talking about Sigma brushes and how wonderful and amazing they were. And of course, everybody had a code. That started way back then. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that's not a new thing for Morphe or some of the other companies. Sigma was doing that a while ago. And so I used someone's code, and I bought several $100s worth of brushes, several kits, and then a lot of individual brushes to fill in and be able to have with me for day of, especially for weddings, so that I didn't have to clean my brushes in between clients. I could just basically get a fresh brush and go about it that way. It was a time-saving thing for me when I was doing clients, because most of the bridal parties that I had were 6, 7, 8 bridesmaids. It's a lot of bridesmaids, and I didn't want to waste time washing. So anyway, I get my brushes, and long story short, they sucked. They fell apart, they bled, the ferrules were coming undone, the smell out of some of the brushes was just horrendous. But I kept kind of just trying to work with them, because I was like, well, these weren't top of the line brushes that I bought in the first place. But then about 8 to 9 months in, I started getting really pissed, because I was like, these are just falling apart. There was hair coming out. I actually had clients telling me with, I had a large powder brush that I bought several of. I think, well, this is their new large powder fluff brush, but people were like, why does this brush smell like a wet dog? And it was so embarrassing, to the point where, I contacted the company and I was like, hey, what is wrong with these brushes? They shouldn't be falling apart. I know that, these aren't these aren't La Mer brushes or anything like that, but I expected them to last a little bit longer than less than a year. And they're like, well, That is unheard of with our brushes. We don't know why that would be happening. You know, where's your original invoice? When did you buy them? All this stuff. And I was like, I don't have my original invoice. Like I didn't keep it, which was dumb because since I didn't do that, I actually did not get to write all of those brushes off on my taxes that year. And that was something that just really pissed me off. So, but anyway, besides that, the company basically was like, well, if we don't have your original invoice, we can't really help you with a refund or anything like that. And I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. It made me so angry that I just like wrote them off completely, and I just basically got rid of all the brushes. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I am not keeping these. They smell. People are making comments about it. I'll just go buy new brushes. And so that's what I did. So fast forward, Sigma sends me an email. I think it was end of November, beginning of December, and they were like, hey, we saw your channel. We'd like to send you some brushes to be able to review. And at first I thought, oh, you must not have seen previous videos that I've done about your product, but I'm not super pleased. And I took several weeks to respond because if I was going to respond, I just wanted to be very like, you know, professional and matter of fact about it. And when I first saw the email, I was kind of like, ooh, why are you sending me a message? Like, I am still so pissed at these hundreds of dollars of brushes that I tossed, you know. But I did eventually respond, and I told her the story, and I said, look, you know, just so you know, you can send me this stuff. There's no guarantee that I will review it, obviously, and if I do, it's gonna be an honest review. And if your brushes still suck, I'm gonna tell people that. And so, anyway, long story short, she apologized for, you know, what happened back then, and she said, I would still like to send you the brushes and a couple of other things. You know, do with them what you wish, but, you know, just, we'll send them to you. So they did, and I've been using them ever since I got them. It's been at least a couple months now that I've been using them, and I've been washing them very frequently, and probably a lot more frequently than I wash my regular makeup brushes, just because I've wanted to see how they would wash up. So I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts, and we're gonna get there in a minute. I wanted to start with the makeup items that they sent. One of the things, the blush palette, I actually already passed on because the formulation was not good for my oily skin type. It just disappeared within a couple of hours. The formula, I feel like for the blush palette was very basic. I don't think it was anything spectacular. It would probably be good on normal skin, but my oily skin it just disappeared within a few hours. Also, they sent their Warm Neutrals Volume 2 eyeshadow palette. Now, I used this a couple of times, and I don't find this formula to be amazing either. I think it's good, and you know, it's not something that would make me want to go back and say, okay, if they had like some incredible like cool toned layout, that I would go for it, just because I think the formula is okay. It's definitely a step above like a drugstore formulation, but it is not the Viseart formulation. It is not the Too Faced formulation. It's not, you know, the Tarte matte eyeshadow formulation. I think it's good, but I don't think it's the best ever. So actually this palette I am going to go ahead and pass along as well. They also sent their Sigma eyeshadow base primer. Now this I actually do like. This is in the shade Persuade. And basically I use this a few times just to get like a very matte look to my lid, and then I put a cream shadow over top of that. It did definitely help to intensify any shadow that I put over top. So it's nice, and even on my oily eyelids that I had a primer on already, this didn't crease or anything like that. So this was good. Do I think I would repurchase it though, or purchase other colors? Not necessarily, but I think it's a good product. The product that they sent that I actually really have been enjoying a lot and that I've been using to wash these brushes is their Sigma Magic Scrub. Apparently this is patent pending, and of course I'm not gonna be able to get the lid off. Okay, so here it is. So it's basically a soap that is within these like silicone-y bristles. So you just rub your brush on here and then, you know, like wash it, obviously. It's nice because it has the little suction cups. So you basically just suction cup it to the side of your sink and then wash your brushes. It does make it very quick, it's very effective. Normally I use my Dr. Bronner's bar of soap, and then I also have a silicone glove that has different types of nubbies on it. So I don't think this is an absolute necessity, but I think it's a really great product. You do obviously have to replace this once the soap wears down, but you could also just keep this for like the nubbies and then just go get a bar of soap and use this with that. Having something like this does get deeper into the bristles, which I think is kind of nice. It helps get the brushes cleaner faster. I'm trying to be really efficient because I don't want this video to be like an hour long, so I'm talking kind of fast. They also sent their Sigma liquid pen eyeliner. Truthfully, I have not used this because I don't really do liquid liner, but it is a very sharp tip and it is a very black formula. So I would say this might be worth a try for those of you who do the, you know, like the flick and you get all fancy with your eyeliner. I don't. I just use a dark eyeshadow as my eyeliner, and that tends to work the best. But yeah, you can definitely, I feel like this might be worth a go. I did just put some oil on my hands, so it was kind of bleeding in a weird way, but it does seem to dry pretty quickly and it has a very nice sharp tip. Let's get to the meat, which is, what do I think of the brushes? Now, I have used most of these. I'm gonna talk about the ones that I haven't used yet. I tried to wash most of them so that you guys wouldn't be grossed out by dirty brushes, but I did use some of them this morning, so some of them are dirty. The ones that I have not used out of all of them are actually these two here, and they are the Duo Fibers, the F50 and the F80 Air, which is a flat top kabuki that has like a duo fiber type of situation. I just don't personally have a use for these. They do seem to be constructed pretty nicely, to be honest. But yeah, I don't use brushes like this, so I haven't used these. I have, however, used this one here, which is dirty because I used it this morning. This is the Sigma Flat Kabuki, the F80, and this is the 3D HD Max Kabuki, which has kind of a fun, funky shape to it. I have used both of these for powder foundation. They work very well. This one is actually really nice for powder foundation because you can get into like your under eyes really nicely. I feel like if you are a liquid foundation person who is looking for a really nice liquid foundation brush, this would be perfect for that. You can also use this for liquid foundation. You guys know I don't do that though. But yeah, these are both really nice brushes. Good construction. They have washed up really well so far. You know I will keep you updated. I will let you guys know at the end of this year. I'll do an update as I continue to use these and let you know if they end up falling apart, but so far so good. The ferrules are like, they feel like they're super glued on here. Now, within the first few weeks of washing my other brushes, like the ferrules were already coming loose. So the fact that this hasn't done that already is, that's a good sign to me. As far as weight goes, these do feel a little bit weightier than the original ones that I had. And the original ones also had like a matte finish to the handle, and this is more of like a gloss. I think they look a lot nicer now, I can tell you that for sure. This is a large angled contour, and I have used this for my contour. I think it works really well. Again, the bristles are really nice. These are all synthetic. They're all synthetic brushes, so if you like those, that's what these are. I do prefer some bristles to be natural bristle because I just think it works better for certain things, especially blending brushes on the eye. I tend to prefer those to not be synthetic, but everything else, for the most part, I can, you know, happily transition over to synthetic. But anyway, this is really nice. It does fit very perfectly in this area here, and this has worked great. I used this morning. This is the brush that I had the immediate issues with when I first bought it. Their large powder brush. I do think that this seems like it's smaller than the original. The original seemed like it was much fatter, much more substantial. I do wish there were more bristles to this, but I think it's okay. I don't think it's one that I would say you have to go out and get this one, but I think it's nice. This one doesn't smell like wet dog, which is a huge step up from the last time. So yeah, and again, the ferrule is on this one, and yeah, this one's doing good. This brush I actually used the other day for the first time. This is a foundation brush, and I actually used it to just kind of smooth out my forehead a little bit. It's nice. I don't know anyone who uses these paddle foundation brushes. If you do, put a comment down below, because I have never used these. Even like way back in the day, I never used them. And then the rest of these were what I would consider eye brushes. This one I haven't used a whole lot. I used it a couple times with my, like a dark eyeshadow to do my eyeliner. But yeah, it's a good eyeliner brush. It's a pencil brush. I feel like it would probably work really well with a gel eyeliner. It's stiff, but not too stiff to where it's gonna like poke your eye. This is a concealer brush, but I've been using this to pack shadow on my lid, and it works great for that. This is the small angle, which I have been using on, not my brows, but to line my lash line. It works great. This is the Sigma Tapered Blending. This one I did wash the other day so that it would be clean. I think this one works good. I actually prefer their, I still have a couple of their E25 brushes. Those where they're natural bristle brushes, and those are actually the only Sigma eye brushes that I have left from that original set, because those never really fell apart. I prefer the shape of that, and they did not send me, I don't know if they are not making this anymore, but yeah, I prefer that over this, but I think this is a decent brush. This is their eye shading. This is nice, but if you have a larger lid space, you might actually do better with their concealer brush, because you can see it's significantly thinner, so you're not getting the eyeshadow all over like the crease area if you don't want it there. This is the large shader. This is enormous. This I feel like I use a little bit more to blend out versus actually like shading, because my lid space is not that substantial. But if you are looking for a larger shader brush, this is, it's nice. And then there's this medium angled shading, and this one I didn't wash this one the other day, so you can see the powder coming off of it. This I just like to use to blend out my crease a little bit, and it works great for that. And then the pencil is nice for using underneath the eyes. So the moral of the story here is, I think they have definitely made improvements to the overall quality and the construction of these brushes. They seem like they are better made at this point in time. So obviously I am going to continue to use these, and I will let you guys know at the end of this year if they are still washing up well and how they're doing. Yeah, because I think it's worth continuing to the experiment for sure. I do know that just a couple months in, they definitely are doing better than my other brushes did, which are probably in a landfill somewhere, still deteriorating. But yeah, so one thing I am thankful for is that Sigma was willing to actually send these, and were open to me doing a very honest review about them. Do I think that I'm gonna go buy a bunch more Sigma brushes? Probably not myself, but just for your guys' sake, I think that the price point of a lot of the Sigma brushes is pretty decent. I do think that they are a step above like a drugstore brush brand for sure, but you know, I also don't, they're not like they're not as well constructed as the Esam brushes, which I also recently reviewed a few weeks ago. These are incredible. You can find these at Muse Beauty Pro. These are actually made by Muse. So Esam is Muse backwards, if you guys didn't catch that. So no, they're not like those brushes, but I think that they're very good for probably like the average consumer of makeup who is looking for some decent quality brushes at a good price point. Do I think they are better than my Zoeva brushes? I think they're probably pretty on par with the Zoeva. Some of my Zoevas I've put away for the time being. I mean, there's like a few here and there. I'm also washing some, but yeah, I think they're probably right in line with the Zoeva. If you didn't want to do the Sigma, go with Zoeva and you'll get a good quality brush. But yeah, I don't think these are better than the Zoeva at all. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I thought it was worth trying them again for sure. And, you know, the makeup, I don't know. I'm not into the makeup, to be entirely honest with you guys, but I think that my tastes in makeup are very specific at this point, and I certainly would not invest more in these Sigma makeup products, to be totally honest. But you know, I think they're good, but I don't want to buy just good makeup anymore. I want to buy great makeup that I'm going to be passionate about, that I'm going to be excited to use. You know, that's why I do all of these declutters from time to time, is because I'm getting rid of things that I'm not loving. So anyway, I don't know. Let me know your guys' thoughts if you've purchased Sigma makeup brushes in the recent past and what you think about them. If you bought them early on, are you still using some of those brushes that you bought way back in, like, you know, 2010, 2011? I'm curious. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Hopefully this was helpful, like I said, and I will see you guys in my next video. Take care.